David Price, good to see you.
Good to see y'all too. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
Doing well.
Let's talk a little bit about giving back in this community and on this team. When you signed here in the offseason, did you learn quickly what it meant to be a part of the Red Sox and the connection with the Jimmy Fund as well?
Probably learned a little bit more. I mean, I felt like I was very aware on how active the Red Sox were in this community and how much the Red Sox meant to this community, especially after 2013. We were in Tampa. We were here for that when that happened, and that was very scary. And to see the Red Sox kind of just engulf themselves in this community, and that was very special.
And so now you're a part of this community, and you probably have been asked this question 100 times. Here's 101. How's the adjustment? How you doing now that we're almost in September? How you doing being in Boston and New England?
Doing well. Just taking it one day at a time. I'm having a lot of fun here at the field. I really enjoy my teammates and the coaching staff. We have a very solid group in that clubhouse. Everybody gets along with everybody else. There's not a guy in that clubhouse that I wouldn't go out to eat lunch with or do something away from the field with, and that's a lot of guys don't get that chance to say that. Just about every team has a stinker or two, and we don't have that guy, and that's when you have those types of teams, that's when you can do special things out there on that field.
I have to ask you, sorry Jared to interrupt, I've heard this so many times. I want to get your take on it. I'm telling you, probably have heard it 10 times, 12 times. David Price is the best teammate I've ever had. Hey, there's a guy who keeps in touch with me even though he doesn't, whether you're in Toronto or teammates in Detroit, teammates in Tampa, still text them, still, ask how they're doing. Is that something that you've always done? Did you see somebody else do it and you said, okay, that's my spirit? I mean, where did that come from?
Probably from Coach Corbin. At my years at Vanderbilt, he preached, you have to give everything to your teammates, and that's something I really bought into, in my time at Vanderbilt, and it's something that's carried over, throughout the big leagues. And I definitely had guys, reach out to me, whenever I was coming up in my first couple of years in the big leagues, and I know how much that meant to me, and to be able to give that back to the younger guys that are coming up, after I did, I know how much it means to them, and it's easy.
How about your relationship with the fans of Boston? Both the people that come to the park every night and just the people you see out when you go out to dinner or whatever. Are they what you expected? How do you feel that's gone so far?
Yeah, that's what I expected. I didn't throw the ball very well in the beginning of the season. I mean, I don't do anything anyways. I come to the field and I go home, and I'm okay with that. I'm a homebody. I haven't ever been the one to always go out to eat. Didn't matter if I was in Tampa or Toronto or Detroit. I enjoy being at home with my dogs and my fiance. But it's been good. I know if I can come out here and throw the baseball the way that I know that I'm capable of, I'll have fans.
One thing that we know you do is you take the ball every 5 days. Is that something you've always taken pride in, always being there and available for your team every 5th day?
Absolutely. I feel like every spring training, somebody's always going to ask, what do you expect to happen this year, or what are your goals for the season? And my goal every single year is to take that ball every 5th day. I want to be a guy that the team can depend on, expect me to be available on that 5th day, and I want to be consistent. And that's something I haven't done for the entire year this year, but I have taken that ball every 5th day, and I feel good right now.
And how do you feel about this season? You said you haven't thrown the ball as you're capable, but you haven't really. That hasn't been a situation that you've even had to worry about since your rookie year, maybe even ever. So, what's that like to be in baseball, your entire career, to have success, and then to be facing a situation where you're wondering what's going on? I mean, what's that been like for you personally?
I've gained a lot from it, I mean, that's whenever things are going bad, you kind of lose sight of how good or what the feeling is whenever things are going really good, and that kind of puts that in hindsight. And that's what I tell all the young guys. Whenever you're playing good, you're getting good results, whatever it is, remember that feeling, because it's not always going to be that way, and that's what makes it whenever you're going really well. And that's what makes it so special, because you've been through that struggle. You know what it feels like to not perform the way that you expect to perform. And that's, you know, kind of what's happened for me this year, and that's what makes winning so much special.
You're a pretty honest critic, too. Remember the one game that was got some dispute because, you know, John Farrell had said after the game, well, you know, I thought David Price pitched pretty well. And you were after the game, you said, hey, my curveball was crappy. This was terrible. Where did you develop that? I mean, it's pretty straightforward and unfiltered.
I mean, you have to be accountable, and that's something I've learned over the years as well. You know, it's not the easiest thing to do. You know, I'm not going to make excuses. You know, everybody's going through whatever they're going through throughout the course of a season, and that's going to happen. You know, that's life, and you're not always going to get good results out there on that field, but I'll get to do it again, and that's what I love about this game. You know, it doesn't matter how bad or how good it goes. In 5 days, you know, you get another shot to go out there, and I enjoy that.
David, relative to a lot of pro athletes, you're pretty active on social media, and we've seen a lot of guys that can't handle that well because the internet is dark and full of terrors, and yet you seem to. What is it about you that you're wired to be able to take the good and the bad out there?
I mean, I try and put myself in their shoes. You know, if Twitter would have been around whenever I was growing up, and David Justice had Twitter, and if I'd have tweeted him whenever I was a little kid, and he took 2 seconds to respond to my tweet, you know, I don't know what that would have done to me. I mean, that would have, I don't know, I would have went crazy. And just to be able to take a couple minutes out of your day every day to make somebody's day better, or just tell somebody happy birthday, you know, I know it goes a long way for them, and it's very easy.
On football teams, we hear this a lot, where the offense, you know, will make sure that they're not blaming the defense, or vice versa, or special teams. Is there a tendency on a baseball team to make sure that that doesn't happen, where the batting order isn't saying, the pitchers didn't pick us up, or the pitchers aren't saying, they didn't hit for me tonight? Do you make sure that sort of thing doesn't bleed in there?
Absolutely. And I feel like if you're on a really good team like we have right here, you know, that's not going to happen. You know, guys understand, you know, the struggle of this game, whether it's the hitters understanding how tough it is to pitch, and pitchers understanding how tough it is to hit. You know, we see how hard they work, and they see how hard we work, and when we don't go out there and get the results that, you know, we expect to get, you know, that's tough, but that's part of it. And nobody's pointed fingers this entire year. You know, it's something, you know, Manager John talked about in spring training. You know, we have to be a unit. And I feel like we've done an extremely good job of that this year, and that's, you know, why we're in the position we're in right now.
It goes without saying that because this has been a 65-year relationship between the Red Sox and the Jimmy Fund, that this is a very important charity for this organization. It is one from the very top down that they've always been involved with. And your teammates every year come down here and see the kids and support the kids. It probably started for you at spring training with the spring training trip with the kids from the Jimmy Fund.
Yeah, you know, that was. It's good to be able to give back. I mean, it's just a couple minutes of your time whenever they're at the field or they ask you to do something, and you can see the smiles on their faces. You know, that for me is enough. You know, that's why we started, you know, our foundation, you know, in Tennessee as well. You know, we have the power to help change lives in a positive way, and you know, that for me is what you need to do if you're in the position that we're in. And something my parents talked to me about, you know, whenever I was very, very young, you know, if I was ever in a position to be able to give back, you know, make sure that I think about doing that. So I have to give the credit to my parents, you know, the way that they raised me, and just, you know, helping me start the foundation.
For people who don't know, your foundation is set up to do what?
It's Project 1-4, and it's just to help anybody in need. You know, we definitely put the onus on kids and schools and doing stuff like that. We're building a Miracle Field right now in my hometown, which is, you know, a baseball field for kids with disabilities. You know, kids that don't get to play, you know, baseball in a regular league. You know, we built I guess 2 turf fields. It's going to be wheelchair accessible, and you know, it was something I was a part of, you know, whenever I was in Tampa with the Rays. You know, I did that on, you know, Saturday mornings in St. Pete, and just to see those kids stand on the line for the national anthem, and to have, you know, their name called out to go hit, and just talking to the parents, and the parents telling me how much, you know, they look forward to that Saturday morning. You know, whenever it's Wednesday, they're like, you know, 3 more days till we get to play baseball. And just to hear those stories, and to see the smiles that that show up on their faces. You know, that's, to me, that's special.
I'll be curious to hear your reaction after being a part of the Red Sox, and you'll see tonight from the first pitch throughout the game, just what you think about your first time being a part of the Red Sox, being part of the Jimmy Fund, Dana-Farber experience.
It's awesome, you know, just to be a part of something as special as this, and as special of a franchise that the Red Sox have. You know, it's a big reason why I'm here. You know, this is a place that wins. It has winning in their blood, and we're expected to win. You know, I've been on, you know, 3 teams before here, and, you know, I feel like in Detroit we were really expected to win, and then when I was traded to Toronto last year we were expected to win. But here it's different. You know, we talk about it all the time. It's not 162 games. It's 162 seasons, and you know, I feel like we cherish that, and we want to go out here and we want to play extremely well at home, and you know, for the most part, I feel like we've done that.
All right, before we let you go, I got to ask you about your teammate who's going to get the ball tonight. What a year Rick Porcello is putting together here.
He's been great, you know, especially after coming off the year that he had last year, whenever he wanted to, you know, throw the baseball extremely well, you know, for his first year here in Boston, and for him to go about this year the way that he's gone about it. You know, it's been a lot of fun to watch. You know, his work ethic is second to none, and that's good to see. You know, you like seeing guys get good results that work the way that Rick works, and that's something that Coach Corbin, you know, always talked about. You know, this game rewards hard work, and you know, I definitely like seeing guys like Rick that work the way that he does to go out there and get those results.
Thank you for taking a few minutes to come down here and support this cause and be with us. We appreciate it. Welcome to Boston, belatedly. We talked to you the day you signed, but it was on the phone, and you didn't get to see any of us. So welcome, and we wish you well the rest of the way.
All right, thank you very much.
That is
Thank you,
Red Sox pitcher David Price joining us here live from Fenway, the WEEI NESN Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon.